y'all. Karen and
Pluto.
Here for Karen and Pluto's Not Another Review channel with another movie review. Excuse you.
Sorry.
If you haven't watched The Nun yet, I apologize up front. Pluto has a little bit of a cold. My sinuses or allergies are a little yucko. So if we cough, sneeze, I've been drinking a lot of water.
You're drinking other stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say I've been drinking a lot, which I'm like, let me rephrase that. I've been drinking a lot of water because my throat's getting dry. So,
we'll do that later.
Yeah, right. So anyways, what's funny with the movie we're going to review with you tonight is it was actually suggested by somebody, but we had already watched it for the review. It's a movie we've seen before, but it had been a while since we watched it. So got ourselves a little refresher. It's called Student Bodies. It's from 1981, rated R. It's an hour and 25 minutes.
Good length.
Basically, this is a parody of horror movies. So you basically pre-scary movies.
Way pre-scary movies.
Yeah, like I said, 1981. So I have in here too, there's extreme product placement throughout this movie as well. So
yeah, that's part of the joke.
Yeah, I think it's part of everything because there's like some stuff it's like going on and you're just yeah. So anyways, at the beginning they have this blurb about horror movies.
Blurb?
Yeah, that's what it's called. It's just a little thing about horror movies. It was just this whole little
I thought it was
thing.
called exposition.
No, I called it a blurb. It might have been called that back then, but
whatever.
So it's zeroing in on this random house. Then at the bottom it says Halloween and goes to black. Comes back to this house and says Friday the 13th. Goes to black again. Then it comes back up. Jamie Lee Curtis's birthday.
Like your birthday.
Yeah, so haha, funny. So anyways, the killer, I guess we could say in this movie is called the Breather. And I always laugh because I have asthma, and when I watch this movie, it actually kind of hurts my chest a little bit the way the person's breathing.
Oh, no, you're demonstrating.
Because it's like, and that sounds like when I'm having an extreme asthma attack. So it kind of
it does.
Bothers me a little bit. Because I kind of sit there and I have to tune that piece out for that reason.
They would make this. You could be the breather.
Yeah. So, anyways, the breather is moving towards the house they were showing. There's this young girl inside. Her name's Julie. She's babysitting. And her friend Toby calls. And says something about being careful. There's all these other puns, you know. She says, you know, don't be safe. Don't do this. Basically, don't have sex. You're going to get killed. You know, the whole, if you watch Scream, you know, you don't drink, don't do drugs, don't have sex, and you don't say, I'll be right back. So it's kind of along those lines.
Which is a lie, but okay.
But anyways, so she hears a noise outside. So she opens the door and checks. And they zero in on this this dog that's meowing like a cat. So then she closes the door, but she doesn't lock it. And it gives you this warning like, hey, she done left the door unlocked. So the breather calls on the house phone, and he keeps calling to scare Julie. Her boyfriend, Charlie, I believe, shows up. So they decide to go upstairs and have a little fun. But once they get upstairs, Julie orders him to take a shower.
He stinks.
I can't remember what else she said at that point. So he goes in to take a shower. She gets situated in bed. So the breather gets into the house. He opens up a desk drawer, and there's all these weapons laying out. There's like a rope, a gun. I don't remember what else. Who knows?
Oh.
So he has all these weapons to choose from to take care of these two. And he chooses a box of paper clips.
I thought you picked one.
Well, eventually, when they show him going upstairs, he has the box in his hand.
Okay, I must have.
And remember, she does have multiple ones in her face.
Oh, yeah.
We're jumping ahead a little bit. Spoilers.
Sounds like Pinhead.
Yeah. So he starts going up the stairs, and then he keeps commenting about how there's too many stairs. He's going to die before he gets upstairs to kill them. And yeah, because I was laughing because I'm like, yeah, that would be me. And his breathing's like getting worse. And then he keeps stepping. There's gum on the steps, so he ends up losing his slicker boots he has on. So he gets in the bedroom. Eventually, he kills Julie.
Julie.
Julie. Yeah.
Julie? What's Julie? Like jelly?
I think I was combining. So, but he kills Julie. Then Charlie comes out because he's in there blow drying his hair and everything, doesn't hear. So he comes out. He starts trying to get nice with her, and he's like, "Oh, you're so cold and all that." And the breather comes up behind him with a garbage bag and kills him, suffocates him basically.
I follow.
At this point, oh, the parents where she's babysitting, returned home. So
You're all over the place.
the mother is they're making comments as they're going around, and I think the father says, "Well, I hope she's not dead in our bed." Haha.
That's kind of not funny, but I guess back then it was.
Oh yeah. Well, so mom's complaining about everything going on. She finds the bodies, and this is where we start getting a body count on the screen.
I like them. Oh, sorry, I was thinking of something else.
Yeah, you were thinking about something else. So the mother doesn't react, and the father comes in. He's like, "Oh!" And then it cuts to their funeral the next day.
That was quick.
Weirdest funeral ever. It's like they're at the school. There are marching bands there. The cheerleaders are there. All the school students are there. The principal's discussing about how, we're sad that this happened, but remember, it's the big football game tonight on the last day of school. Yeah.
Well, that's important.
Yeah. Football and last day of school, and prom's going on. And at one point later in the movie, there's a calendar that says March. So
that was marching band.
So anyways, two of the students there sneak off to have sex in a car that's parked across the street. And this is going to become a theme throughout this. The boy leaves to go get some protection. Leaves the girl alone in the car. He calls condoms. He says he's going to get condoms and foam or something like that.
How's the foam work?
I have no clue.
Oh.
So
Okay.
he's getting out of the car and it says, don't start without me or don't finish without me or something. I can't remember.
I know what he was talking about.
Yeah. So he leaves. All of a sudden, the breather's by the car with this wooden horse head bookend. Say that 3 times fast. And
I'm not going to do it.
he, gets the girl, ends up killing her with this horse head thing. The boyfriend comes back and he gets suffocated with a garbage bag. So we have 2 more, so we're up to 4 for our body count.
I'm following you.
So Julie and I had her boyfriend, but they were just actually friends. I can't remember his name. Harvey.
Oh.
Anyways.
I can't remember.
Oh, and I put Julie. It's Toby. I knew I did that in a couple
Toby's
spots.
the lead girl.
Yeah.
Right?
It's Toby and this Harvey, or whatever his name is, end up finding the dead bodies.
Like the restaurant.
Yeah. So then they're in shop class. And the shop teacher has them making wooden horsehead bookends. So
yeah, I'm following you.
He keeps going. He's like obsessed with these things. That's like the only thing he knows how to make, I guess. He's going on about, something about the last day of school. And this new student arrives from Africa by bus. And
that part's funny.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because he ends up in shop class and the shop teacher's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm here." And he's like, "You're showing up on the last day of school." And the kid's like, "Well, I took a bus here from, I can't remember where in Africa. So it took a little time."
And what did he call him?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I don't remember.
I ain't gonna say it.
I don't remember.
I won't say it.
So, Julie, I put Julie. Toby starts looking for clues.
Wasn't Julia the nun?
No,
Julie
she was the babysitter that got killed. And that's why I wrote the wrong name. So, Toby is looking for clues. She ends up finding the garbage bags that are used to kill the boys. And then she finds the bloody wooden horse head bookend. I cannot say this. And, the shop teacher keeps making comments about how females shouldn't be in shop because she's like the only girl and it should be boys only. But then she's trying to hide it and she ends up showing them. He goes, "Oh, you did a good job. You stained it and everything."
You shouldn't be in shop class. You cut your hand off.
I hated shop class.
There, see?
Because I had to take wood shop back in 8th grade. It was required.
I like shop.
Anyway, so we go next to the girls' locker room. The breather is in the locker room and he's getting excited because the girls are changing and stripping. And at one point he goes, I'm going to take it out. I know I shouldn't. And you're just like, oh my God, what the heck is up with this? So basically the girls are changing for prom/volleyball practice
But
or
they didn't
something.
show nothing.
No, not really, just bras and panties. So then it cuts
They
away.
get an F on effort for that.
It says 1 minute later, everyone's leaving. The breather is done, so we know he don't last long.
Yeah, he's a quick one.
And it's only Toby in the breather. Well, she realizes somebody's in there, so he starts chasing her, and they're running all different places, and he starts discussing with them, why did they run from me? And he's going on, and he steps in more bubble gum, and he's like, I'm gonna kill the kid with this gum or something. So anyways, he eventually gets into the basement and runs into the janitor, or she gets down the basement, runs into the janitor. And
he's funny.
they're doing so he needed a thing for a crossword puzzle or something. So I also made a note. I noticed like everyone is wearing like these gloves that the breather is wearing. Like everybody even people who don't need them, they all have these rubber gloves on. Yeah.
Must have missed that.
Yeah. No, I noticed that. I think even way back when I watched it, like, I'm like, everyone has, like, most of the people have these gloves on
I forgot.
Don't need it. But anyways, next thing we go to a random parade. And it's only like for the school or something, and it's going on and on about the prom court and what else was there? Oh, the football game. Like I said, even though it's last day of school in March with the prom. So there's this one girl riding this I don't want to say mechanical bull, but it does move. And
I thought that's what that was.
Well, no, the head just moves. But a mechanical bull, everybody would think it's something different.
Never was on one of them.
So the one guy's going on about how hot she looks and everything. He's like, well, I'm going to go get it on. So they go inside the float with the bull. And of course, he doesn't have protection. So he leaves again to go get protection. And the breather is inside the float and kills the girl with an eggplant because she hates eggplant. Very random. So the boy comes back and obviously gets suffocated with a garbage bag. That's his theme. He kills the girls and suffocates the boys.
Well,
except for one part later. But anyways.
You know, how to dispose of them.
Yeah. Toby goes inside the bowl and actually finds them both dead. And basically at this point, they kind of start blaming her, saying that she's doing this. So there's a breakaway at this point about discussing how a movie gets an R rating. And it's going on about, sex, violence, this. So the guy talking, he goes, so I'm just going to say this. Fuck you. That was to get, well, I mean, there was other stuff, but it was just kind of like, hey, we're going to.
Yeah, that could have been a PG.
Yeah, we'll get it in there.
No boobies.
So anyways, it cuts away to bio class and some people discussing Toby's biology class.
Oh.
And the teacher's like going on about male anatomy, and she's like, yeah, you can cut this off, and she's erasing the penis off the pictures, and yeah, very anti-man as far as I was concerned. But
she had a funny name.
Mrs. Mann? Was that her name?
No, I thought it was like something Dykes.
I don't remember. So
like Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah. But I can't remember. But anyways, then it cuts away to the principal's office, and everybody's talking to Toby. Everyone pretty much believes that she did it, but the principal's like, I recommend that she sees our school psychologist. And she's like all grateful that he believes in her. He goes, no, I still think you did it, but yeah, we want you to see the psychologist. So after Toby leaves, the killer calls, and one teacher answers the phone. And he's like breathing in the phone. And she's like, are you the killer? And he goes, yeah. And I'm going to kill again during the football game or something. And there's just a funny exchange there. So,
yeah, chicken.
Yeah, he was talking to her chicken, so his voice was different. But there's some other thing. I don't know. He's talking out the chicken's ass, but.
Well, you talk out yours.
Yeah, some days.
All right.
Especially when I have to deal with patients. So anyways, we go to Toby's meeting with the psychologist, and they're talking about sex, like how she feels about sex and everything, and she's going on about how it could be so wonderful, but then at the same time it's so dirty and nasty and evil, and because that's what her parents basically told her.
I like when it's dirty.
Yeah.
Right?
So anyway, she gets done with the psychologist, returns to class, and the principal makes an announcement over the phone, over the speaker, saying, even something along the lines like, Toby hasn't been proven the suspect, but she just came from the psychologist's office, and going like basically something they wouldn't legally be able to do.
Well, what do you want to know if you're amongst a killer?
Well, so the students kind of leave, and they're all like, nah, like real nasty to her as they leave. So anyways, we go to the big football game, which is flippin' hysterical, because they basically get their butts handed to them. It's funny. I mean, like I said, if you haven't seen it, watch it.
I'm sure everybody's seen this. It's old.
It's old, like you.
I'm not that old. You're older than me.
Two of the kids decide to go under the bleachers to have some fun. And yet again, the boy leaves to go get a broom and protection and a blanket. Because
Why don't we should do that broom?
Well, the girl was complaining because there's like all this junk, like people are throwing popcorn in their cups and drinks and all that. 'Cause you know how if you know how football bleachers are at a high school game.
I thought maybe she was into some really weird stuff with that broom.
You never know. So,
chug, chug, chug.
Sorry guys, I'm getting dry throat. So, Toby had seen them going, and she said to Hardy, I'm going to go keep an eye on them. I'm like, okay, you're a voyeur now. But anyways, is that the voyeur or peeping Tom? Peeping Tom, whatever. I'm too tired to think of these right terms tonight, guys. So, she gets under the bleachers, and something falls and knocks her out. So the breather shows up, and he has an eraser. And so breather shoves the eraser down the girl's throat. And then the boy comes back, and he gets suffocated with the garbage bag.
She was erased from existence.
So we go back to the field, and there's this big pow-up on the field, and as the bodies are moving, the people are getting off the pow, the bodies show up on the field. So everyone's like, okay, it's Toby, where is she at? She's, what's going on? And then the one teacher's like nobody can leave the stadium until we make sure who did it. So he's like announcing like all these things, like, if you've never done a violent crime in your life, you can leave. If you've never had a speeding, just get goofy stuff, to the point that
I would have left.
It's only the janitor left until he finally says something that applied to him, and I can't remember, it was off the wall. So then they're all going like, we need to find Toby.
Did you say your parents are brother and sister or something? Or the same sex?
What's that?
His parents are the same sex, or brother and sister?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Oh, well. Sorry I interrupted.
No, because I don't remember that. So everyone's like, okay, we got to find Toby. Well, Toby climbs into the van that's taking the dead bodies away. So for some reason, and she's hiding on the one with the one body. So for some reason, they take the bodies back to like the nurse's office or something at the school. Makes zero sense to me.
They'll make sure they're dead.
Yeah. And
the one guy didn't look dead.
Yeah, the one, and here they're talking about the one corpse starts farting. So, but you don't know if it's a corpse or Toby, because she's hiding under the sheet that's covering this body.
It was her.
But in the middle of all this, the killer calls again, and he's like, I'm going to do it again at the prom, or something like that.
He wants to do it at the prom.
Well, then, whoever I think it was a corpse, because it's something that happens shortly hereafter, keeps farting, and everyone's like, oh my God, I can't stand it, and they leave. Oh. Well, then Toby tries to Hardy lets Toby know, like, hey, we got to get you out of here. You got to be safe. Well, all of a sudden, the corpse farts and takes the gurney all the way out into the hall. And she's like, oh, no, I got to get to, she's trying to figure out where the evidence is or something. So she's saying, I have to go to the prom. I have to get the evidence from Mr. Peters' office, who's the principal, and she needs his keys. So they end up like in the drama department area or something, and the junior class or something's doing Grease, the musical. So she takes the outfit that Sandy would wear at the end, and that's what she goes to prom in. And of course, everyone's like debating, is it her, isn't it her? And everybody doesn't think it's her.
I thought she was a hooker.
Well, no, she dressed up like Sandy, and that's how Sandy's dressed at the end of the movie Grease.
Oh, like a hooker.
Basically. So, So basically, we go to prom. There's all this stuff going on. Oh my God, Toby's trying to get the keys from Mr. Peters. She eventually recruits the janitor who's able to get the keys for her so she can go look at the evidence that for some reason is in Mr. Peters' office. Like I said, I don't know where the police are during all this. There's only one member of the prom court that's still alive, and she figured she was automatically going to get the crown. And they announced, well, since there's nobody, we felt it would be really unfair, so they decided to give it to Mr. Peters while everybody kind of loses it then and starts throwing stuff at the stage and everything.
That's what you would do.
So, at one point, the woodshop teacher was kind of watching Toby as she was dressed up and kind of went to the woodshop to relieve himself, I guess is the best way of putting it, by making wooden horsehead bookends.
He had to go to the bathroom, right?
No, he went directly to the shop, and then at the end, he's like, "Oh, was that as good for you as it was for me?" I'm like, "Okay, buddy, whatever makes you happy." But anyways, the girl that thought she was going to get prom queen and her boyfriend.
Prom cream.
Yeah, prom queen.
What?
Prom queen. I can't talk. And her boyfriend, who's like an ROTC or something.
What does that mean?
Like pre-military type stuff. So, they go to the wood shop. Well, the wood shop teacher is hiding in the one, like, cupboard or something. Same thing basically happens. You know, they're going to get it on. He doesn't have protection. She sends them off to get protection. So then somebody randomly shows up with the crown. What are you doing?
I'll give it a visual of getting it on.
You're so
right?
Strange. You're so strange. So somebody shows up with the crown, and she's like, "Oh, you decided to give it to me after all." And all of a sudden, she gets killed with the crown. But so the boy comes back, and he's like, "What are you doing? You're dead. Okay, let's do it one more time for old time's sake." And then the killer uses the bag and suffocates the boy. The killer goes over, hammers the door shut, realizes the teacher is there, starts going after him with the chainsaw. Basically, is saying he's telling him to, like, how to take care of it and to put it, like, he's prompting him to try to not get himself killed. So the killer puts it totally away in the box and then conks him on the head with it, and he apparently dies. So I think our body counts up to like 12 or 13 at this point. So we go back to the office, and Toby is looking for the clues. Mr. Peters happens to show up there, and he realizes it's Toby. And, you know, he's still kind of turned on by the way she looks. So she has her back turned. All of a sudden, he strips down to just having boxers, and he has an I love New York, I, heart, and Y tattoo on his chest. And he's going on about these, about like the killings and all that. And he talks about this trophy that the typing team won or something.
Did you have a typing team in school?
Yeah, I was like, what the heck is this? So he goes, stay here, I'll show you the trophy. So he goes, grabs the trophy, and it's shaped like this. Like, it goes up to a point, like a pyramid triangle thing. And he's going to kill Toby with it. Somehow, what was it, marbles or something falls on the floor?
Yeah, something like that.
Something falls on the floor, it makes him trip, and he ends up impaling himself.
That was funny.
So, in the middle of all this, too, Hardy went to Mrs. Mumsey's office, I think it was the name. And here, when Toby goes to get Hardy, whatever the hell his name is.
Marty Hardy.
He's dead. He has a glove stuffed in his throat. Well, then Mrs. Mumsey shows up and saying, oh, like that she was Mr. Peters' mother. So to cover things, like he killed the girls and she would kill the boys. And now she's trying to get Toby into the garbage bag. And so
dispose of the trash.
As I put at this point, like Toby takes off running and all this bizarre stuff starts happening. Like it's like a bad trip if you were on something. Not that I've ever done anything. I'm sure this one has. But like it's just all this weird stuff. Like she's seeing everybody dead chasing her. There's random things hanging in the hall, odd and end things going on. Well, eventually as she's running, she reaches this one part and there's a window and somebody's standing there and goes this way out, and she dives through the window. And then she wakes up. Toby wakes up. She's actually in the hospital. And everyone that was in her dream is there, kind of like the end of Wizard of Oz, but they're not the same person as they were in her dream. Like, it's funny. Like I said, it's hysterical because nobody, except for Hardy, I think he's the same. Like, her and Hardy were the same throughout the movie, but like Miss Mumsy is actually a man, and the janitor is actually a very, very smart person, and the girl that wanted to be prom queen is like the total opposite, and her boyfriend is gay. The one playing her boyfriend was actually gay. So it's like they were total opposites in the movie, in her dream, than what they were in real life. So she was kind of saying, then she starts saying something about having swine flu, and I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing back then, because that's only something I've heard of in the last.
You get that from eating a pig?
No, I can't remember where that comes from.
Oh.
So basically, after she gets out of the hospital, her and Hardy are walking, and she's discussing that the psychologist said because she was sexually repressing her sexual desires or something, that it causes it to develop into swine flu. And the psychiatrist's name is, or psychologist's name is Dr. Sigmund, which is Sigmund Freud.
Oh, you like him?
I can't stand Sigmund Freud. Sorry, anybody who does. So she decides that she wants to have sex with Hardy just so she doesn't get sick again. So she's getting ready, ask him to turn around. Well, when he turns back around, he has the gloves on and starts breathing like the breather and strangles Toby. So 1 hour later, we're at Toby's funeral. Yeah.
Hey, quick.
Yeah, that's about it. So Dr. Sigmund's giving the eulogy, and he's just saying stuff, and then everybody starts going and putting flowers on her grave. And when Hardy leans over, he goes, "Sorry, I had to kill you. I lost all respect for you when you wanted to have sex." Well, then a hand comes up and chokes Hardy, and a la Carrie. And that's it. So like I said, it's an older movie, yes. High rewatch value, because I have watched this a few times, even though it's been, when we watched this the other night, it's been a few years since I have watched it previously. But like I said, if you like kind of like the satire, stuff like that, like we're not, yeah, I mean, but like if you're into that, like them making fun of different things like that, and yeah, Scary Movie just overdid it. But yeah, like I said, it's a movie I feel is very watchable. It is funny. There's stuff in there I didn't even talk about because it's kind of one of those things you have to see it a little bit more to get the humor with it. But that is it. Went a little longer than I expected, but I guess I had a lot to say.
Good movie.
So please remember to like, comment, subscribe, bell icon so you know when I post new content. Share the page, greatly appreciated. Amazon wish list, if you want to send us something, if there's something you want us to review, let me know. I can add it if you're willing to send it. Like I said, no pressure on anything. If it's just a little thing, if you want to help support us, we'll do a review and give you a shout out about it. Comment. I have a few people that have been commenting, and I have been interacting with a lot.
You're so happy.
Yeah, so happy about that. But that is it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.